The sound of the azan has been muzzled by the noise of war cries. It's Ramadan, and this is how Gaza looks. As the Ramadan moon graced the skies, the month that is traditionally marked by reflection and peace, Gaza, a land marred by relentless conflict and bloodshed, knows no respite. The ongoing hostilities between Israel and Hamas have escalated with reports of continued attacks by the Israel Defense Forces in response to rockets fired by Hamas from Gaza. The sacred month, meant for spiritual growth and community solidarity, is overshadowed by the grim reality of violence and destruction. The first night of Ramadan was a bloody one, with Israeli airstrikes claiming the lives of around 70 Palestinians, including civilians. Now, this was followed by another incident wherein clashes erupted in Jerusalem. The sacred site has been a focal point of tension, with clashes between Israeli forces and Palestinian worshippers escalating tensions in the region. In a show of force, Israel also flattened Rafah's tallest building, adding to the destruction and displacement. Now, amidst the chaos, Houthi rebels have vowed to deliver more surprise attacks, indicating a broader regional escalation of tensions. Now, this brings us to some important questions. As the call to prayer echoes through the war-torn streets of Gaza, how do civilians reconcile the spiritual significance of Ramadan with the relentless violence that engulfs their daily lives? With over 31,000 lives lost and no end in sight, how can the international community justify its inaction as Gaza faces a Ramadan under siege? Let's take a deep dive. Now, since the incursion of Hamas militants into southern Israel last October, the region has been engulfed in a devastating conflict, claiming the lives of over 31,000 Palestinians. Reports emerge of Egypt engaging in talks with senior Hamas and Israeli officials alongside other intermediaries, signaling a glimmer of hope for a potential truce in Gaza. As Cairo navigates the complexities of Israel-Hamas war, preparations for a potential refugee influx underscore the gravity of the situation, with fortified buffer zones being erected along the border to accommodate those fleeing conflict-ridden areas. Now, the International Crisis Group warns of the potential for escalating violence, especially if restrictions are imposed on Muslim worshippers' access to Jerusalem's Al-Aqsa complex, especially during Ramadan. Now, such actions could inflame tensions, risking broader conflict with groups like Hezbollah and Palestinian armed factions in Lebanon, amplifying the specter of full-scale war. Now, beyond the confines of Gaza, Yemen's Houthi rebels continue to assert their solidarity with the Palestinian cause, despite facing a relentless bombing campaign. Their persistent attacks in the Red Sea underscore a broader regional entanglement, further complicating efforts to achieve stability. Now, amidst the clamor of conflict, Gaza faces a humanitarian crisis of unprecedented proportions. Aid inflows have dwindled, leaving most of the population on the brink of a famine. The United Nations warns that nearly 90% of Gazans face acute food insecurity, with hundreds of thousands on the brink of starvation. Now, as the faithful embark on a month of fasting and reflection, the imperative for peace and humanitarian intervention looms large, beckoning a collective resolve to elevate the suffering of innocents caught in the throes of conflict.